Welcome to another session of Business Startup Training. Today we'll be looking at property, and this is presented by Accounting Lecturer. Our aim is to get a better understanding of investing in property. Our objectives are: how do one invest in property? What are the strategies? What countries to invest in terms of property? And then we conclude. Now, how do one invest in property? I would say there's four main areas. You can invest in residential property, you can invest in commercial property, you can also invest as a private investor, and this is where you do buy to let. You buy flats or condominiums or huge estates, and where several families live in the same area. And you can also invest in land. So in terms of strategies, what are some of the strategies? You buy for a good price, hold, and sell to benefit from the gain in value. So that's the main idea, the basics of property. You buy for a good price and you sell to benefit from the capital gain over a particular period. You can buy from auction at a discounted price and sell once you fix it up, or you can rent. Or you can rent for a long period, so a long lease, and then you sublet to others. You can also buy, break down and clear the area. That's happening into a lot of cities. You break the property down. It's been old 100-year property, 300-year property, etc. You break it down and you clear the area, you start again and build new units, but you build, if one unit was there, you build 5 or 6 more units, in terms of maximizing, especially if it's in an urban area. You want to maximize the value you can get from the land. Now, in terms of property, I would say these are some of the countries and cities I would consider would be ideal for investing. I would say in terms of the number one position, I would say London and England, but specifically in London. You get good yields if you invest in London. Over a 10-20 year period, you're likely to get good appreciation. New York is a good place as well. Manhattan and the surrounding boroughs of the Bronx and Queens and Brooklyn, etc. Those are again good. Manhattan would be the excellent one. Canada, Toronto, I would say a good area to invest, get good yield. Australia, in terms of Sydney. In terms of the Asian region, I would say it's quite hot, and so therefore the prices are quite high. It's a bit of a challenging one to start up. The capital required is quite high. So because of the heat in areas like those, and they're highly populated areas, it would be a tough one to crack in and to get a proper yield. But I would say towards the west, these are the areas in the west, I would say, that you could get a good yield. Now, the things to note when investing. Now, as an investor, research is number one. You need to research to ensure that you have the best idea of how to invest. You also need to know where to buy. You need to know when to buy, how much to offer, because you don't want to overprice, you don't want to buy too high. You also need to know the right time to sell, because you want to sell when the market is at its peak. And you also would want to sell underperforming assets, so assets that is maybe it's costly to repair, or it's, there might be something that is not necessarily right, that you can see, either the capital appreciation is not necessarily adding up, or the rent received is not necessarily adding up. So therefore, if it's not performing, you can then dispose and to get some yields to come out and invest somewhere else. But the basics in terms of property is you want to buy, say for example, you buy a property for 300,000, you hold it for about 15 years or so. It goes to about 800, and then you want to have a gain of about 500. You'll have fees that you might need to deduct additionally, but that's the basic idea. You want to buy, have the value appreciate, and then you can gain from the profits. So we can conclude that investing in property is quite good. It's a good thing. And you need to do it with strategies. You need to have the right timing, the right location, the right countries, also, the stability of the country, and all of the factors, there's a lot of factors one needs to consider. And once you get it right, you are more likely to get a good yield, and you're more likely to have a safe, it's considered to be one of the safest investments. Booms and busts may eradicate gains over the period, but in terms of the long-term strategy, property tends to be a good investment for long-term growth into the future. So I would say this is one to investing from an investor perspective. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you.